wake up every morning, you look in the mirror, and you see a progressively chubbier and softer physique. You're not as lean as you used to be, and you're not where you want to be. These are 5 brutally honest fat loss tips that I've learned from working with many men in your situation. If you implement what I'm about to tell you in this video, you will start to see the scale go down. Full disclaimer, this is not going to be easy, but it does work, and if you're prepared to follow the steps that I'm going to lay out in this video, you too will start to lose belly fat. I want to share the #1 most important tip with you straight away, and that is to eat meals. Casual snacking throughout the day can ruin your fat loss progress. Intentionally eating whole meals throughout the day will help you to stay on track with your fat loss goals. Often, if you don't have a plan like eating whole meals and having a shotgun approach to nutrition, sometimes you can be on track, but a lot of the time you miss your targets pretty badly and you end up overeating and potentially setting your progress back multiple days or even multiple weeks. Intentionally cooking or meal prepping beforehand, whole meals, can be your secret weapon for fat loss. Tip #2, to get reliable and consistent fat loss results, you need to realize that you have to be tracking your food. Using an app like MyFitnessPal is the most efficient way to get sustainable and effective fat loss results. If you're not prepared to track your calories, it's going to be very difficult to be scientific about the fat loss progress. And if you do a crash diet where you're not in control of the variables, it's entirely possible that you lose fat and muscle and don't end up with an aesthetic physique, but rather a smaller version of your currently soft self. It's taken you years to get into this mess where you're either skinny fat or overweight. You need to do something different in order to actually lose the body fat. And that something different is tracking your calories. My 3rd tip is simple. It's just to do the basics right. Sometimes fat loss is not that complicated. It's just difficult to be consistent with. The best way I found for myself and for my clients to be consistent is to have daily tasks that they need to tick off. The most important basic thing you need to do is walk 8,000 to 12,000 steps a day. Steps are a fantastic way to aid digestion, improve your fitness, and help you burn a few extra calories. For my clients, how I work out their maintenance calories is I just ask them to track what they're already eating for 7 days. Then I average out the calories from these 7 days and I work out what their maintenance calories are. You can keep losing body fat for multiple weeks with just a small deficit. As you plateau, you'll need to increase the deficit. To lose an appreciable amount of weight, 10 to 15 kilos or 20 to 30 pounds, we probably ultimately need to get into a deficit of 300, 400, even 500 calories. But you shouldn't do this straight away. Slow and sustainable progress is what I've found is the best way to keep adherence high and to lose fat over the long term. The last basic thing is to keep your protein high and make sure you're still trying hard in the gym. If you keep these 3 elements in place for multiple months, steps, calorie deficit, high protein, you will start to see the scale move. My 4th important fat loss tip is you need to commit to the process for multiple months. 3 to 4 months typically, but even as much as 6 months. Think about it. It took you years of abusing your body, having Wednesday night drinks with the boys, having fast food multiple times a week to gain this weight in the first place. It's unrealistic to think that you can do an intense crash diet for a number of weeks and suddenly look in the mirror and have an aesthetic body looking back at you. The brutal reality is fat loss takes time, particularly if you haven't done a fat loss phase when you're trying to maintain as much muscle as possible before. The people who get reliable, consistent, and sustainable fat loss goals commit to the process and make it part of their identity. 3 to 4 months is a very typical time period for a meaningful amount of fat loss to take place. And my 5th and final tip about how you can get sustainable weight loss is to lift weights 3 to 4 times a week, every week, using predominantly compound lifts with the intent of getting stronger every session. Just because you're in a calorie deficit doesn't mean you can't still hit personal bests in the gym. Clients of mine have had some of their best workouts while in a calorie deficit. Going into the gym with the assumption that you won't be stronger because of the calorie deficit is a defeatist mindset that won't help you to train hard and to hold on to as much muscle as possible. It is absolutely crucial that you continue to lift weights while in a calorie deficit. If you don't lift weights, you aren't sending that strong muscle building signal to your brain, so it's entirely likely you'll lose some fat, but you'll lose a lot of muscle. And as I said, you don't want to be soft and pudgy just in a smaller body. The whole point of losing body fat is to look better. You're not going to look better if you've lost all your muscle. And I have one more bonus fat loss tip, and that is to subscribe to my channel and like this video. If you enjoyed what you see here, my name is Jake. I'm a men's fitness coach who works with guys over 30 who are doing everything they can to be the hottest, fittest dad at their kid's soccer game. If you want to work with me and learn about my program, the applications for coaching are in the description of this video. I'd love for you to book in a time. Let's have a chat. Until then, check out this video about the 3 biggest mistakes that are keeping you skinny fat.